Oh, I say! Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is!
Yes, good morning, good afternoon even, Savva here, Football Heritage TV. Today joined by the Fhtv ladies, honorary members. They don't see a penny of the money, but they are here to help make the money. I'm just kidding, we don't make that much money. We
don't see a penny of it.
You definitely won't. You won't. My Greek friends might. Mia, how are you? Are you well?
Yeah, not too bad considering the weather that we've been having down here. It's really bad. So yeah, the kids are at home because the electricity has gone at school, so they can't go to school. So it's fun and games.
Oh, good. That sounds. When you say the weather's bad down here, where are you talking about?
By the beach. I'm in the coast. I live by the coast now, so I don't live in London, do I anymore?
Check you out. All right. Well, fair enough. Yeah, the weather's not very nice here in South London either. So I was just checking. Well, listen, welcome to the show. Queen Ellie Hoybier, just a girl who loves Spurs. Employee number 2, we'll call you. How are you, Ellie? Are you okay?
No, I'm okay. It's no better in North London where the real Spurs fans live. You know what I mean?
We're going to do that, are we? We're going to do that. All right. Well, swiftly moving on from Ellie, who doesn't understand what a good footballer is. Let's go over to Kate. Let's talk to Kate. Kate, how are you? You well?
Yeah, good, thank you. The weather's actually not too bad here in Lincolnshire. It's a little bit rainy, but it isn't too bad at all. So all is good in the world of Kate today.
Good. It's always nice when the world is good in your world. Listen, ladies, a little bit to talk about this morning. We're going to go for an hour exactly, a new format, just 1 hour every Thursday for FHTV lunchtime with the ladies. Look, Tottenham Hotspur didn't play last night. We saw Arsenal get comprehensively beaten. I think it's safe. Well, I watched the game. It's safe to say they were comprehensively beaten. Man United look an absolute shambles. They were knocked out as well. Chelsea went through. Liverpool went through. If everyone wonders why I'm doing that, they'll know that I had a bet that had Liverpool to win. And Newcastle went through. My question, I'll start with you, Ellie. Obviously, one of the big criticisms thrown at Angepostecoglou today, it's the only one really, has been that we didn't take that competition seriously. Now, it's done. We've moved on. The question from last night from loads and loads of people in the chat was, oh, well, we should have taken it more seriously. Look who we'd be playing. That's a competition we should have won. No one's playing their best teams. Do you see it like that? Or do we understand why the teams that are going out, i.e. Arsenal playing a B team, i.e. i.e. Man City getting knocked out, Spurs getting knocked out? What's your feeling on the cup and Spurs' exit?
Savva, I want to win every cup every year. So for us to play a weakened side, and it wasn't just the weakened side, it was our worst 9 players that he could have put in. You know, like at least put a couple in that could give you a chance. But we didn't lose the game. We lost it on penalties. The actual 90 minutes we didn't lose. But like I said, I want to win every competition. I mean, you're in it to win it. You're not in it to lose it. I can understand teams playing a slightly weakened team. But look at Arsenal, right? They had to bring on their big guns towards the end. I think it was about half an hour, 35 minutes left. They brought on their big guns and they still couldn't turn it around. But I just think Postecoglou made the big error there because in my estimations, he went down a little bit by doing that, you know, because the League Cup was the last trophy we won as well. And it's probably our best chance of winning a trophy this year. I mean, the FA Cup is just as easy, but I think teams play a little bit more of their first team in the FA Cup. They do, because they treat it differently from the League Cup. So, yeah, I just think it was so disappointing, Savva, for us to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, Kate, I'll come to you. Listen, I don't want to. I'm not going to retrospectively have a go, if you know what I mean. I had a pop at the time about my feelings, but some part of me can't help but look at the teams left in this cup and think, oh, this was a chance. And in the chat last night, you saw people. I think you were part of the show at this stage. I think where some people were saying, "Oh, well, it's just the League Cup. No one cares about that anyway." Isn't that part of the problem with Spurs' attitude in the last 20 odd years that we look at cups and say, oh, it's just that cup. It doesn't matter. We want to win the big one. Isn't that part of the issue?
Yeah, I mean, I was devastated. I'm not going to lie that we went out the Carabao Cup. I really thought that we would go all out to win it. For me, I can understand why City, Arsenal, Liverpool don't prioritise that cup, because they are fighting for the league year in, year out. They also in sort of fighting for European competitions. It's our first season under Ange, and with him being a winner, I would have thought he would have gone for everything. So yeah, for me, it makes me sick that I remember Jacob saying after we played such a crap team, oh, it doesn't matter because we would have lost in the final to City, and then City went out. So do you know what I mean? For me, it's going to take me a little while to get over the fact that he just threw it away, as far as I'm concerned. I know we didn't lose in 90 minutes, but we're out, so it don't matter if it was 90 minutes or penalties for me.
Yeah, I mean, Mia, let me come at it from a different angle with you. Did we want those teams to go through, i.e. the fact that it means that they'd be playing more games? Or do we want them coming down to, I don't want to say our level, but you know what I mean? The fact is that we've literally got the league and the FA Cup when it starts in January. Did we want Arsenal to go through? Did we want Man United to go through and these clubs to go through? Or are we happy that they're out, but just because we don't like them? What's the feeling on that?
Oh, I would say it's 50-50 for me, because part of me does think, yeah, let them go through, let them like be in as many competitions to sort of, obviously their legs are gonna be tired, they're playing a lot more games, because obviously that is a factor. But then they've got that possibility of winning it if they keep going in the competitions, and I don't want them to win it. So it's so difficult. I think like I'm a bit 50-50 about how I felt about it. I want them to go out, probably more so, because I don't want them to win it. But I do see the point of you want them to have the most competitions to be able to obviously wear them out. But they've got, I think that the thing is with this competition, like everyone said, people don't really take it as seriously. But when they're in like the Champions League, that's the games that I think they are the ones that are going to make the difference to certain teams without the squad depth. So maybe the cup games not so much. But I was disappointed as well that we went out the cup, because I do think this was our best chance to win something. For me, a cup's the cup. I don't know why people disrespect it. I really don't. We haven't won anything for a long time. The last time we won, I was actually pregnant with my eldest son. So that was quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
Now, like, honestly, like, I really wanted to win it. And it's mad that these teams don't take it seriously. They just, no one seems to. Everyone just seems to be really dismissive of this trophy. But don't forget, when City first started winning, what did they first win? The League Cup. They were winning the League Cup. And okay,
and
now
continue
maybe
to win it a lot. This year is a bit of an anomaly. Like, I know last year they got knocked out quite late on Southampton, but before that, it was like 3 or 4 years in a row that they won the League Cup, right? So they tended to actually go for it.
Yeah, and do you know what? It is quite funny though when you hear Arsenal say that they're not concentrating because it's not the most important one. When they did that last year, and look what happened. They ended up winning nothing, the same as what we did. So I feel like it's very dismissive of them, any team, to say we've got bigger fish to fry and we're going for the other competitions, because if you don't win those other competitions, then what? What have you know? Yeah.
Listen, look, obviously we knew we weren't in it last night. I think it's just when I look at the clubs left in, I think to myself, oh, this was such a chance. And for me, my biggest thing at the time was, it wasn't that he had to change the team. I understand that. I think I'm just trying to play with the crowd here. I was going to say, I understand that you can't play your best 11, but I think you can play your best 11 once you've only played 2 league games. I think that you can. It's early in the season. No one's burnt out. They should be fit from pre-season. I didn't understand the decision at all. I could have understood it a bit more clearer if like Ellie said, if we hadn't made sweeping changes, if it hadn't been all 9, like if it wasn't, oh, come on, my worst 9 players, all of you play, maybe kept the spine, added a few. But look, hey, it is what it is. Arsenal fans this morning, as Mia pointed out there, Arsenal fans this morning, all I'm seeing is, oh, bigger fish to fry. It doesn't matter. It's just the League Cup. But Ellie, at what point, forget whether it's Arsenal, just a general conversation. And we're going to be moving on to a few Tottenham-centric topics in a minute. But there are only X amount of trophies that can be won a year. The more trophies that are belittled by fans, I'm not talking about Spurs, I'm talking about all fans. Oh, it's the League Cup. Oh, the FA Cup's not what it was. Sorry, does everyone think they're winning the league and the Champions League every year? Like, at what point does it become important for a manager like Arteta, who's been at a club for 4 to 5 years, has spent £700 million, to say, all right, we get it if you don't win the league. We get it if you don't win the Champions League, but the League Cup, you've got to be winning that. Where has that gone? Why has this gone in football now?
Do you know what? It's like they say there's bigger fish to fry, but their batter's gone dry. You know what I mean? What they're after, what they really mean is there's bigger money to win.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they really mean. So they don't care about the League Cup and the FA Cup because there's no money in it. If there was more money in the League Cup and the FA Cup, don't you think they'd want to win it? They would. Like if they bumped it up 100-fold, for example, they would want to win it, right? But the money's where the glamour as well. Yeah. Playing in the Champions League, that's glamorous, and the music, you know, you all look forward to it, don't you?
Uncanny, right? That was uncanny.
Yeah, right. So I think these clubs are prioritising their business side to sustain themselves for the future. But the thing is, like you said, Savva, it's only 1 or 2 clubs that are winning the Champions League, right? So Man City have come into the fold last season; they've won it. Then you've got Chelsea and Real Madrid. They've been dominated, and Liverpool got 1. But they went to 2 finals, but they've got 1. But they've won it 6 times. So all these bigger clubs, they're putting all their eggs where the money is. They're not putting their fish where it is anyway. Just put it that way.
Yeah, do you know what? It's interesting because, Kate, if I've just quickly pulled up a list of the Champions League winners, and if you look, the last 10 winners of the Champions League are Man City, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Bayern, Liverpool, Madrid, Barca, Madrid, Bayern, Chelsea. So I know I've gone back even before that. Barcelona, Man United, Barcelona, Liverpool. Like when you look at that, and then you look at the Premier League that's been won 5 out of the 6 years by Manchester City. Surely, if I'm Arteta, if I'm Klopp, I'm not saying Klopp doesn't because he has won it. I'm saying, right, this is where it's at. The League Cup and the FA Cup, this is where it's at. Fans doing it though, that is the bit that baffles me. Fans dismissing trophies, fans of any club. So our fans, honestly, I'll be honest, I can see it in the chat now. I won't read any comments out, but our fans that were just like, oh yeah, Postecoglou knew what he was doing. Oh, it doesn't matter because this year we're going to concentrate on. No, hang on, what has happened? This is the cup. There's 2 cups that can be won every year. Spurs are traditionally a cup side. When I was growing up, listen, I'm sure when you were all growing up, it was the magic of the cup. Mm-hmm. Even the team under George Graham, when we went on the cup runs with the likes of David Ginola and Stefan Everson and Alan Nilsson. It was the cup games, those nights under the lights at Selhurst Park and Barnsley and all these places where... And now people go, oh, yeah, don't worry because we need to play the best 11 on Saturday. What's happened, Kate? I'm just baffled by it all.
I think Ange has kind of got away with it more because we're sitting top of the league. If we were sort of in the bottom half of the table, people would be going, oh, my God, you know, we're we're having a poor season, and he played a weak team against the in the cup. I just want to win a cup. I don't even care. I want to win the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup, just to have that glory again. I mean, that's the one thing every football team banters Spurs about. When was the last time you won a trophy? And it obviously means far more to the fans than it does to the club. And I understand that the money for winning the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, isn't the same. But realistically, they're the only two trophies we've got a chance of winning at the minute. So we should be going all out to try and win them. But, you know, as Targavo said, we can moan about it as much as we like. It's done. But if he does the same thing for the FA Cup, I think he'll face more of a backlash from the fans than he has done previously. And all the while we're sitting top, he's kind of avoiding any backlash at all.
Yeah, listen, I completely agree with you. And last point on this, Mia, I think the key thing for me with this is everyone lost their mind at Conte's decisions in cups, right? Not just Conte. I'm using him purely because he was the last manager. Oh, we went to Sheffield United to get into the quarterfinals or the quarterfinals of the cup, and we didn't play Harry Kane. You know, oh, we went to Nottingham Forest and played a weakened team and got knocked out. We got knocked out to Middlesbrough in the cup before that. And when Postecoglou does it, there seems to be it's okay because everyone loves it. Oh, it's all right. It's just the cup and Ange can get away with what he wants. I was livid. I was livid because all of this, but you can't play the 11 week in, week out. I'm going to ask you, why couldn't we have played our best 11 every 3 or 4 weeks in the League Cup? Why?
I don't see any reason not to. I think that even if you rested a couple, I think the amount of changes made a huge difference. I think that you can maybe test it out, maybe put 3, 4, maybe rest a couple, and then you can bring them on if need be. But I do think you should play your strongest team and take them off if you need to. I think that's a better way of doing it. Win the game, take your players off. But I don't think there was any real excuse, in my humble opinion. I think that, honestly, he should have done it. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas, I guess. But I agree with Kate. In the FA Cup, I think that we need to play our strongest team. And all the time when we're top, it gives people reason to say, well, we're top. Look, we're top, so we shouldn't be resting our players. But we know that isn't going to, realistically, what's the chances of us being first in January, you know? I don't think so. So I think that we've got to understand that we can't have that. We've got to be in every competition we're in it to win it, surely. I told you the other day, I'm super, super competitive. So for me, any competition we're in, I want to win it. So I can't understand the mentality of not wanting to. It is very disrespectful because we all want trophies, don't we? And that's a trophy.
Yeah, I think, look, just before we move on, I think it's comments like this. I've read comments like this for 20 years now. For 20 years, I keep saying we haven't got this, we haven't got that, we haven't got that. Whilst Newcastle last year, sorry, they didn't have Europe made the final of the cup, no? But what was their excuse? Why were they able to? Why was Eddie Howe able to do it? But yet with Spurs, we don't have it. This whole focus on getting back into Europe, I've heard that so many times over the last 20 years. Great. Okay, we focus on getting back into Europe. Then what? Then that becomes the excuse for not playing the team in the cup is, we've got Europe. Before, the thing that frustrated me, I'll be honest, I was having a chat last night on WhatsApp with some of my Arsenal mates, and they were livid. I was saying, there's no reason why Arteta had to change that much last night. It isn't just Ange. There was no reason why he had to put Jorginho, Vieira and Havertz in the free without keeping one of the main guys. Surely you keep an Odegaard, you keep a Rice, one of the two. At the back, you keep one of them. Up front, you keep Martinelli or a Saka. You don't, the wholesale changes. Look, I just think we've gotten away as football fans from what the whole point of supporting a football team is. We could say Ange is working wonders for us. Sure, that doesn't really mean anything after 10 games. You can't work wonders after 10 games because it's 10 games. But I don't know. I'm just disappointed that it's another year where we didn't go all out to try and win a cup when we've not won a cup. Long-suffering Spurs fans deserve a trophy.
Do you know what? There's someone in the comments saying, well, if we would be upset if they got injuries. Listen, they can get injuries at any time. I don't think that we should play players, because that means we won't play any of our best players in any game, because we're going to be concerned. Why? So in case they get an injury. You can't play football like that. You can't be worrying, they might get an injury. They, like I say, could get one when they're training. We've had a couple
Is this
of
what
those
you're talking about?
People getting injuries in training. So that's the thing. And also, Dave, what you're saying is, I think that's disingenuous. What people called for with Conte was him to change how he plays, not rotation. We wanted him to play different players because the players he was playing just weren't working. So he kept playing Højbjerg and skipping midfield. I wanted Sarr because I thought he was better, not rotation, better. I wanted it to be a better team, not because I wanted rotation. It's because I wanted Conte to play better, the players that I thought would be better. So it was slightly different
Savva,
for me anyway.
Before you go, Savva, right, you've got to blame Levy as well in this equation, because if you look back when Jose was in charge, right, what did he do? He sacked him before the League Cup final.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the proof in the pudding that he doesn't even take that cup seriously because he knows the money's not there. So sometimes managers' hands are tied, aren't they? So we're putting all the blame on Ange. But at the end of the day, how much of that was influenced by Levy? We're not going to know completely, but I don't trust him. I just don't trust him, because he did it last year with Conte as well in the FA Cup when we went to Sheffield United and played like wusses, right? And we just didn't put our best team out, and we went out shamelessly. That was a shameless performance as well. It wasn't just that we went out; it was really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And can I just address David one more time? No, wasn't this? Oh, God.
Are you talking about Irish Hotspur?
Yeah.
I want to get to that, Mia. I'll bring you in. For me, I think, again, this is the happy clapper train. I'll call you out, David, for this. When people are calling out for rotation last year, when we're calling for rotation, people aren't calling for 9 changes to be made. No one asked for the whole 9 to be changed. I hate sweeping generalizations. Fans call for under Conte when Ange rotates. Fans don't like it. No. You're 2 games into the season. Play. If he kept on Maddison, Romero, you left Van de Ven 2 games into it, exposed at the back with Davinson Sanchez, right? Fraser Forster came in. The midfield 3 was changed. Sorry, for me, it's just crazy. What I want to address, though, just quickly before I come to that, right, but hang on. Sorry, I get disappointed with the cup and disappointed, but I put the blame on the players. I put the blame on the manager. If the manager is playing your second string team that aren't good enough, and he knows they're not because they're not playing in the Premier League, then you put the blame on the manager. We've become this club, Mia, now where we're not allowed to blame. Like, we're going to get to that stage where, like what Arsenal fans did under Wenger, it's no one's allowed to critique anything now because we're top of the league right now. It's right now. We're not allowed to critique anything, Mia. And the last thing I'll say is all of these people, right? All of these people, this guy especially, right? This guy especially, and people like David, I'll call him out for it. But what if a player gets injured? What a load of nonsense is this, right? Players get injured on the training pitch. Players get injured playing for their country. Players get injured in the Premier League. Why is it all of a sudden they might get injured in the League Cup? You get injured, you get injured. Why is it special? I don't get it. I've never understood. It's like a new breed of fan. I don't understand it.
But that's what I was trying to say earlier. You can't play football that way. You can't be worrying about injuries. And we might have wanted players to be a bit more, obviously. Yeah, there are certain players that can come in maybe for a cup game where that, like I say, a few players, okay. But I think to say that you want the whole lot rotated, you don't want that. Like, the thing is with Conte was very stubborn with how he played and who he used. He was a very stubborn manager. And I think that's what happened with him. And the fact is that we want Ange to do well. We're criticising him when we feel like he needs that, not criticising, but saying maybe he should have done this different, right? Like, I just don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. I'm not worried. I'm not horrible about Ange. I love Ange. So for me, it's like me saying to my kids, I'm never going to criticise my children. of course you're going to say to them, listen, you're doing this wrong, because otherwise how are they going to learn? So
What
obviously you not criticise, but you try and say, listen, constructively.
What I will say from the other perspective, sorry, Savva, is that obviously pre-season, the likes of Sanchez and others showed potential, and that was what people were using as an excuse. I still think it was completely wrong. I think he should have changed 4 maximum, and then, like you say, bring off the better players when we're winning or whatever. But there was that argument that in pre-season, these players did show up and kind of, you know, look better than they had done previously. But I'm still of the thought that he disregarded that cup too quickly for me, and we had a massive chance to win it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, it's things like this. I mean, I don't know who this guy is that's coming in. It's not hindsight. I don't know if anyone was on the watch along we did at the beginning of the watch along. Myself, I think it was me, Haas, Perchy, and I can't remember who the 4th person was. We all sat there and went, "You made a mistake here. Shouldn't have done it." Do you know? Do you know what I was worried about? This is what I love when we're talking about hindsight. This is what I love. You see, it seems like we've got this group of fans now that are super fans. That are, we know Ange more than you know Ange. Ange does this. Ange does that. Every day I wake up in my YouTube comments, I've got comments going, "What you don't understand about the way Ange plays football." It's like, what are you talking about? Like, look at this, right? We were told before that game, ladies, we were told Ange always, all of the Celtic people, the Australian fans were all coming in to the chat going, and you must remember this, right? Surely coming in going, Ange always puts out his best teams in cups. Ange goes for cups. Ange only ever makes a maximum of 2 changes in cups. Then when he makes the changes afterwards, it's, oh, I understand why Ange did that. It's not what Ange does. And you're like, hang on. Hang on. Before the game, you were saying, don't worry, guys. Ange wants to win everything. And look, no Europe, Ellie, is the reason why I don't give it any credit.
Yeah.
I get Arteta doing it. They're in the Champions League.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. I'll be honest. I never did.
I know what you mean. I'm all for foresight. I'm not for hindsight, because hindsight means you've done something wrong, isn't it? if you're looking at things right in perspective, right, you play your best team or near to your best team that you can get yourself over the line, right, and give yourself the best chance of winning a trophy. Because look, we've gone 15 years without one, and the last one we won was the League Cup, like I said. So I think it was a big error that we did that. And these fans that say they know Ange, they only know what they read. We don't really know him as a person, you know. We can see that he's made good changes. We know that he's a winner because he's come from a winning mentality. His CV is very good. Like when I heard Still say it, when Poch came to us, he didn't have as good a CV as Angepostecoglou, right? Because when he's come winning the treble for Celtic, and I don't care what anybody says, that's a really good achievement, right? And he's won everywhere else he's gone. So he's come to change the philosophy of our football, but at the same time, we've got to be realistic, because he's not a miracle worker. He's not a miracle worker, but what he's done so far, it's been so good, and we're all jumping on that bandwagon, aren't we? You know, even fans are sceptical. You know,
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Ellie, it's this that I love when fans pretend they know other fans. Like, I love this. Like, you lot will all start saying this if he had done this. Angelo, give it up, mate. No, for me, do you know what? I said this about. I like to think I'm very consistent. I said this about Conte. If Conte had put out his best 11 versus Sheffield United, right, when we got knocked out, if you put out Kane and Son together and you don't get through Sheffield United, you turn around and go, players, everything at fault on the players.
Yeah.
If the manager makes 9 changes, if you make 9 changes, yeah, and this is why, right, I saw David's comment here about, oh, but, you know, fans were debating, should we keep them based on pre-season? That's because Irish fans get emotionally attached over 2 or 3 games. The same way you're telling people we can win the league after 10 games is what we do. We get emotionally attached. I wouldn't have cared if he had thrown in Højbjerg. Sorry, I'm just saying he's not the first. Højbjerg and and Solomon, right? If you're doing that, that's fine. But when you make 9 changes, you're saying, I don't care. Yeah. It's no surprise we started playing better the moment Maddison and Son came on that pitch. Like, it's no, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't look, it is what it is. But what I don't want us to become is this fan base now where you're not allowed to criticize anything Ange Postecoglou does. That for me will just get silly. And it's like those Arsenal fans right now. They can't criticize Arteta with anything because they finished second in a title race. Hey, that's just me. Let's move on. It is what it is. I'll always be in trouble for criticizing until we win a league. But if we don't win that league and we don't get top 4, I will be asking questions about why we went weak in the cup. I really, really will. Kate, Spurs have a new scout. Spurs have hired Rob McKenzie, who used to work with Johan Lang at Aston Villa. He's worked for a few other clubs before. He was responsible for signings such as Mahrez, for example. Spurs have now added him to our staff. Exciting things ahead. Happy with this?
Well, yeah, I'm happy because there looks like a new structure's coming into place. I'm hoping and praying with all of my feelings and emotions that this means Levy is taking a step back and that he is leaving the football to more normal people who know how to deal with football. That's what I'm focusing on. And if that's the case, I'm over the moon. We've been crying out for a structure. We need one that's in place and in place for seasons to come, not chopped and changed like it has been in previous years. So, yeah, I think it's a good sign. They obviously have worked together before. So, you know, we'll see what they can do. But it all points to the fact that maybe Levy is handing the reins over a little bit on the footballing side, which can only be a good thing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Mia, apparently he was responsible for the likes of Son, Toby Alderweireld, Kieran Trippier. We said Mahrez, a couple of the players at Aston Villa that have come in. It's good, right? I mean, obviously we can only go by past experiences, but that's the sort of caliber we need to be bringing into the club every window, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good move. I was a little bit concerned about too many cooks because we have got Perchy still as well. So it's a bit like stepping on each other. I don't want anyone to be stepping on each other's toes and that to ruin what might happen and what we could potentially do. But I'm hoping that they've got a plan. They've spoken to everybody. This is your role. This is your role. But yeah, I think we are putting the structure in. I think I agree with Kate. I think that this is hopefully the way forward for Levy not to be involved and then for him just to give out the checks. Here's your money, sorted. That's all he needs to do now. And I'm hoping this is a good thing and that we are moving forward with how we do stuff. I really, really do, because I think that can only bring positive to the club, because that's a sense of there is going to be change. Where before it seemed like there was never real change. It kind of, Joe, I felt like before, it was like we took one step forward and 2 steps back. So we kind of just would move it around a little bit. We'd never really truly step forward and go forward with what we were trying to do. Where this seems like, it seems like, I think from my perspective, that we are trying to move forward. So yeah, I think it's a massive positive.
Yeah, I mean, Ellie, it is positive. Yeah. I take me as a point of too many cooks, but what this does mean now, if you've got Perchy, you've got Johan Lang, you've got McKenzie, you know, plus the academies now seems to be going in the right direction. And you've got Ange, who does his own scouting as well and brings in his own players. It's that $1 million question, isn't it? Does that mean now that Levy is going to finally step back? Because I've heard this. Please understand why I'm skeptical. I've heard this a million times before. Jose's here. Levy's going to step back. Contes here. Levy's going to step back. Harry Redknapp's here. He does all his own wheelie dealing. He's going to step back. It's never happened today. Is it going to happen this time?
Look, Levy's the one who signs the check, so he's never going to step back, is he? He's going to be always involved in how much money is going to be given. And see what my niece wrote, Drula. She said that this chap worked with us 2015-16, and that was probably our best season. So I've got really high hopes that we're bringing in the right people. The main thing is you get a structure, you get a plan. The plan's important as well, isn't it? Where you want to go, where you are now, where you want to be next season, where you want to be the season after that. And I want Angepostecoglou to be in charge of a lot of the transfer dealings as well. I want him to have a good input, but I've seen some fans saying that it's not his choice. It's not, but obviously he's going to say, Savva, that he wants these players and he'll identify the ones that he likes and he'll collaborate with the other two guys that are knocking their heads. I always think too many cooks don't spoil the broth sometimes, you know, because it can work, right? And the statistician guy, is it Johan Lang? He looks at stats and players running stats, their passing stats, which is it all bodes well. Because, I don't know, Will Stewart is the big stats man in our community, isn't he? He says how important it is and how big teams that win things do use it because it's effective. So I'm all for it. And I just want us to be successful. And like Mia said, don't take one step forward and two step backs. Take 3 steps forward, for God's sake, you know, and get us to where we want to be, winning those trophies, and stop copping out of League Cups and FA Cups. Don't do that, because that's not Spurs' style. We were a cup team. We're glorious because of it, right? And now the glory days have gone. We want to bring those back, Savva, don't we? So we can all celebrate as fans and be proud of our team.
Yeah. Kate, sorry, Ellie. It's one of the reasons why I'll come to you in a sec, Kate. It's one of the reasons why I won't ever change my stance for anyone. I won't ever soften up. When people are like, oh, lighten up, enjoy, we're going in the right direction, I will never soften up because I was a fan who, when I was growing up, saw success. I'm not talking leagues and Champions Leagues, but I saw FA Cup success. You know, when I was a wee baby, you know, we won the European Cup. You know, we were winning FA Cups. We won UEFA Cups. So I'm not going to jump on this bandwagon with all these new fans of going, oh, well, if you don't understand Ange and if you can't see what he's doing, listen, no. When we get there, I'll be fully there with it. But you're right. We want to bring some success back. Look, Kate, you know, this guy's coming in. Mackenzie's coming in as chief scout. Paratici, it's a good point that Mia made. Paratici's still there. So you've got Lang as your director of football or technical director, whatever terminology they're using these days. Then Lang is your chief scout, and then Paratici in a kind of consultative capacity. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all that works, right? Because I agree with Ellie to a degree. Too many cooks don't necessarily spoil the broth, but in this case, is there going to be one clear direction in your mind? Do you think there's going to be, right, this guy's say is the final say? Or is that guy going to be Postecoglou? Like, where's it going to fit in?
I mean, when we first brought in Johan Lange, I said to you, I'm wondering if he's like the face of it while Paratici's still cooking away in the background. I still think Paratici's got a massive say in what is going on. I'm not sure who will have the final say. I'd love to say Postecoglou. I hope it is Postecoglou, because obviously it's his team, his philosophy. He knows what he wants. But I truly believe that Paratici is doing far more than anybody knows, and that these guys have come in and obviously will work with him, but will be more the face of it, because obviously Paratici's not allowed to do any of that stuff. So I think it's a very clever smokescreen, but I think Paratici has got a massive say, in my opinion. And do you know what? He's done a reasonably good job. The majority of his signings have been good. He's made a few little stinkers, but, you know, I just think get this team together, get them all working together. I don't care who's doing what, as long as it works. It's as easy as that.
Yeah. I mean, look, Mia, when we look at this, January, there's been a few players that are touted to be leaving, which if they leave, you've got to replace them, right? So Eric Dyer is a name that is constantly. This guy, I can't believe this guy has been at Tottenham Hotspur for a decade, by the way. I mean, that just beggars belief. But Eric Dyer to be one. Is there anyone else that you see going? Do we see Hugo Lloris leaving in that window as well? Is there anyone else you expect to see leave in January And what do you expect to see come in? Sorry, I know that's a lot to put on you on the spot.
Do you know what? I think that Lloris will stay, because if you listen to Vicario, he's been saying he's been helping him a lot. So I don't think he'll go till the summer, actually. I think Eric Dyer will. I think, unfortunately, it's going to be difficult to get some of these deadwood players out. Like, for me, I'd like to see Sessegnon go, but I don't think he's going to. But I think the only other one that I can see going is possibly Højbjerg, because he wants to go. Not because maybe... because obviously we might need him, possibly because when we've got players going away. But I think if he's really stubborn and wants to leave, he might potentially leave. But as far as outgoings, I don't think we're going to see that many outgoings in the January, I'm going to be honest. I think probably Eric Dyer is probably one of the only ones I can really think of. Like I say, I would have got rid of Sessegnon. People want the Richarlison gone. But again, I don't see that happening. As far as incomings, I think two. I think that this is going to sound crazy. People are going to go, only two, but I think that's a reasonable amount considering what we normally do in January. So I think a centre-back to replace, I think, as a replacement for Dyer, but I wanted a left-footed one because they can, if they're left-footed, if we need a left-back, we know that Van de Ven can play left-back, so that kind of kill two birds with one stone sort of thing. And someone for Maddison, because I do think that's a place that we're the least stocked in when it comes to creativity. So I do think that the creative side will be something that we miss massively. And if Højbjerg goes, we might look at a defensive midfielder, because we have been looking at some, but they're on the younger side, not really mega young, but youngish side. So I think they're probably the only players I can see coming in personally.
Yeah, it's look, Ellie, I think that's one of the key things. I think when we throw around as fans the terms backing managers and what are we going to do to strengthen, but January is never a month where people bring in 5 or 6 players, is it? January is a month where you kind of dip in, and if you need 1 or 2, you get 1 or 2. But it does put the pressure on, because it means that 1 or 2, if we do get that, it needs to be right. And my concern with it all is that I still feel we're going to go cheap. That's my worry. My worry is that we're going to go cheap and we're never going to go and get the big players. Is that okay? Are we okay to go cheap? Because I know what will happen. People will just start, my comments on YouTube will just start filling up now of, if Ange wants him, I want him. Because we're not allowed our own opinions as football fans now. But is that okay? Do you think we're going to do that? Can you see Spurs going, right, bang, there's 60 million for Santiago Jimenez. Go and get him. What do you think Levy's going to do?
I see him going cheap. It's just plain straightforward. But I think Ange likes to get players that are off the radar as well, and they're generally cheaper, right? So with what Mia said, I think she's spot on. The players going out. But I think in terms of strengthening, I think we do need somebody who can score goals as well. Because really, if you take Sonny's goals out of the team, and sometimes Sonny does go a bit dry, sometimes he's not like a prolific goal scorer. So I think we need somebody, and we are definitely on the left side and the right side. So I hope, of defence that is, I hope we can, because I can't see... I prefer Porro playing in Kulu's role, to tell you the truth, because Kulu, I love him as a player, but he's flattered to deceive this season, and he hasn't deserved to be playing every game. He hasn't. Yeah. All right, I'll call him out because I do defend him a lot, but this season he hasn't been doing it. He hasn't been producing. He scored 2 goals and no assists, right? And that shows. But Porro, he's done one brilliant cross. Really, Matip stopped it from getting to the player behind him. So put it in there, and he's good at that. So I think we should get ourselves a really good, solid right back to seal that defence, and one to cover Van de Ven and Udogie, like a versatile left footer and a striker, somebody like Jimenez, who's like a fox in the box who can score goals for us. We need it. If you're going to push on, Savva, we need more goals, because when it push comes to shove, these better teams, they're going to punish us for the mistakes we've been making so far. Because like you said, we haven't played Ange ball all the time. We played it in snippets. Yeah. But other times we've been very poor. Like you're thinking you're watching Conte ball again. Do you see what I mean?
You said that. When I say it, I get in so much shit when I
Well,
say
it's the truth. It
Well,
is the truth.
while I kind of agree, though, when you look at the games that we've played better when the team actually comes at us. Those teams are all set up defensively, Ellie. So the problem is when we're just not quick enough. We're not really playing Conte ball because it is different because the way that we hold our possession, we don't allow them to have possession. It's just that we struggle to break them down. So I do think it is different to Conte ball, but I get what you're saying. It's very slow and it's not quick enough, where Ange does like to play his football a little bit quicker. But I think they do play the teams that set up that way. We have found much more difficult. When it comes to teams that are more open, we find that we play differently in those games.
Yeah, listen, I agree. By the way, I don't think it's Conte ball. I think the other day when I said, it's like Conte, I think everyone took that, like, got to be really careful what you say on YouTube, right? Everyone takes everything so literally. For me, I've said, I see what we're trying to do. I do. I fully see what we're trying to do. I don't think we're there yet, and I wouldn't expect us to be there. So I think I've heard some really good people talk about this on podcasts lately where they said, look, Spurs fans are really touchy lately. Like you can't say anything without Spurs fans biting back. So if I say, for example, like what Eddie said, we've played well in snippets, but when everyone's going, oh my God, Ange ball, it's like, well, yeah, okay. Well, I've not seen any Ange ball against Palace. I didn't see Ange ball against Fulham. I didn't see Ange ball against Sheffield United or Liverpool. I didn't see Ange ball in the cup against Fulham. I didn't see it for 45 minutes against Arsenal. But if you say that, it's, you're negative. My point is, I think he needs time to build that. I think that takes time to get from where we were to, I even hate the saying, Ange ball. I think that's going to take a year. It's going to take a while. Look how long it took Pep at Man City. Pep didn't go to Man City, and within 3 months, they were the fluid team you see from Man City now. It takes time. But I do feel that what's happened is, how can I say this without sounding negative? Anything I say sounds negative. It's just the way I am. Because we're sitting top of the table, people don't see any of that. It's just, oh my God, Ange ball, it's brilliant, it's amazing. When actually, if you dissect the games, it's been some of them. I'll be honest, I think it's been quite tough to watch. I found Palace was a really tough watch. I thought the first half against Palace was absolutely horrendous. I thought the second half against Fulham was shocking. But you're not allowed. Why are we not allowed to say it, Kate? Why are we not? Why is it not okay to acknowledge now what needs to be done without people getting really sensitive to saying anything about Tottenham? Is it because we're top?
I think, Savva, do you know what I think it is? Living with a man like Jim, it's opened my eyes a bit, right? People have just had 4 years of utter crap. They're hurting. It's been awful. We've been taken the pee out of by everyone. We've just been an absolute shambles of a club from top to bottom. And we're finally seeing a change, and a change that's come so much needed. And we're sitting on top of a league which no one expected, including me and probably including everyone in this whole room. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's getting a little bit carried away. But do you know what? I think that's great. If you want to get carried away, I think it's great. But at the same time, people need to acknowledge that this is only a few weeks in. The chances are, it's not guaranteed because nobody knows what's going to happen, but the chances are the wheels are going to fall off eventually and we're going to start losing some games. But I just can't blame people for jumping on that wagon because it has been such a horrendous 4 years.
I'm not blaming people for jumping on that wagon, but there's a difference between being really happy with what's going on and then just pretending that every game we've played well. Like, and I'm not saying I'm not expecting us to play well every game, but like after the Palace game, people going, "Oh, we weren't that bad. You're just being hypercritical." We had one shot. We had one shot on goal in 90 minutes.
Was awful. I mean, I've said it. I thought we was horrendous in the first half, and I think a lot of people have acknowledged it. But yeah, a lot of people don't want to see it. They don't want to see that we're not as good because they're loving the moment of where we are at the minute. But yeah. Everyone's got to just remember it is the start of a project. We're overachieving at the minute. It is at the very, very beginning of a project. So, you know, keep your feet on the ground, enjoy it, but just remember it. It's a matter of weeks since Ange walked through that door. So I'm sure we will get better, though. Absolutely sure we will get better.
I'm sure we will.
Do you know what? Someone who's really good to talk to, come in my chat, said to me, we're only at, I think it was like 20% of what Ange can do yet. And we've got so much more to see. And I understand why people are getting, I can understand, obviously people want to be happy and because of all the negativity and stuff, but we definitely haven't seen when you see full blown Ange ball, when we like what they played at Celtic, when he got them going, that is going to be exciting. Like you'll see how different it is. But it's going to take time. Of course it's going to take time. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? That's how we've got to kind of see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen, absolutely. That's why for me, like honestly, I really try and explain to people that, do I think we've played great? No. Would I have expected us to just suddenly go overnight? No, of course I wouldn't. We see glimpses of it. We see like the first 15 minutes against Fulham and Luton. People go, oh, there you go. That's Ange ball. I don't think that's Ange ball. I just think that's us playing very weak teams that I would expect us to swarm all over. With Tottenham, I would expect us at home to a poor Fulham team to take the first 15 minutes to them, right? I would expect to go to a team like Luton, who, let's be fair, got promoted far too soon, right? I would be expecting us to go to Luton and pin them in their half and put them under pressure. But it's this notion now that everyone's going, oh, the football we're playing is remarkable. Sorry, I don't think it is. I don't think this football is anywhere near what we've seen in the past from anyone. And why? Because he's only had 10 games. Right? My answer to everything, Ellie, is 10 games. Will we win a league? No, it's been 10 games. Are we playing Ange ball to its full capacity? No, it's 10 games. Have we seen the bet? No, it's 10 games. It's now become illegal to keep your feet on the ground. It's now become illegal to not get swept away and caught up. But I've seen all this before, Ellie. You've seen all this before. We have. Yeah. We've seen all this before a number of times with different managers. So I'm reserving judgment, especially when Daniel Levy is our chairman.
Yeah, because I'm the oldest one here. So I've seen probably a little bit more. But you know what? I can
Don't
see.
Don't lie, Savva. You're the oldest.
I can see improvements in the way we move the ball. I can see a lot of improvements the way we move off the ball. That's what I'm looking for. But we're not gelling, like you say. It's not like pure Ange ball. But you don't expect it to be. So the fans that are saying it's Ange ball, just calm down, because when we get there, we'll know, and then you'll have Savva coming out saying, we're playing Ange ball, because at the end of the day, right, look at Klopp, right? He took 3 years, and on his fourth, he said he's going to win a trophy in his 4th year, and he delivered, right? So Ange has got 4 years. Let's not put too much pressure on the man, because you can see what he's doing. Right, it's the groundworks, the foundations are being laid, and he knows which players are coming out of that system already. Yep. I reckon he's definitely earmarked Richarlison as a goer. He's gone, right, and I think Kulu will probably be a victim as well, because he's not moving the ball quick enough. He's keeping him in the team because he's keeping the ball at the moment. But if he doesn't deliver, he'll be out the door as well, and he'll bring players in that can play his system more effectively, right? So we have to be careful what we're saying, because we're sitting on top of the league and it's lovely. It is lovely, but we've got to maintain it. And to maintain it, we've got to play much better than we have been, because these other bigger teams, they're going to batter us if we do. If we played like that against Man City, like we played against Palace, we would have been 4-0 down easily.
But that's easily. They don't play the same kind of football, so it's a bit disingenuous to say that we're going to be playing that. It's different. You can't compare. It's non-comparable.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, if we played that performance, if we put that performance in against Man City, they would punish us.
But the reason that we were bad,
Crystal Palace had.
If the reason they were bad,
Vicario done a fantastic save, right, and they had quite a few other chances to score. Better strikers like Haaland, he wouldn't have missed all of those chances, would he?
No, but the fact is they play more defensively. So we was trying to break them down, so we didn't get chances. But when there's a team more open, we get a lot more chances.
Yeah,
if you
I
look
agree
at
with
it.
you.
So I think it's really like you can't. The game that I would compare it to is it's going to be more like Arsenal, or when we had 11 versus 11 with Liverpool. That's the kind of game it's going to be with City, which is going to be like heart attack football. Don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's going to be. I think the performance is going to be different slightly.
Mia, I want to query that. My
point was that we'll get punished. That's what I meant. We'll get punished.
I agree, Ellie. I'm going to ask this. Everyone's saying Palace sat back. In that first half, I don't think Palace did sit back. If anything, I thought Palace came out and pressed us. I thought Palace pushed us. I think it's an easy... What we're seeing now is every time Spurs don't rip a team open, it's, they sit back. Even if they're not sitting back. Sheffield United, now they sat back.
Yeah.
Now that was 10 men behind the ball. Fulham, I don't think Fulham...
Half and half.
Half and half.
Yeah.
Palace, half and half. I think, though, what we've got to do, and again, I'll say this, it's only 10 games. We will learn to do this. And again, better players do this. We can talk about the manager all we want. Better players know how to open up defences. Why do Man City win the league every year? Right? Man City, every single game they play against teams who put 10 men behind the ball. It doesn't matter who Man City play, right? Very few clubs come and play against Man City. Arsenal last year tried to play against Man City and didn't they lose 4-1 or something, right?
So,
Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. When you try and play Man City, right, this whole, it's going to be different because we'll be playing. When you try and play against a full throttle Man City team, Man City don't give you the ball to do what you want to do. Man City batter you, right? This is why what I said earlier in the week, Mia, everyone lost their minds. Savva said we're going to get battered by City, but it's a different game. It is. And we will leave so many gaps that Foden, Doku, Grealish, Haaland, I think they're going to punish us.
Hold on. Let me go back to your query because I know what I saw because I always do the half-time stats. So when it was half-time for Palace, we had actually had 73% of the possession and we had 354 passes to their 127. So sure. I think, so you can say that they had a lot less, they did sit back because, they were a little bit better when they did obviously try to attack. They had 2 shots on target. We had none by half-time. They had 8 shots altogether. We had 3. So, yes, they did have those more shots. But did they come at us? No, they're at home and they had 27% by half-time.
Just because a team doesn't come out doesn't mean they're defensive. Let's be fair. Palace's game isn't all-out, keep ball, loads of passes, attack. That's not their game. But there's a huge difference between what Palace did to us and what Sheffield United did to us. Sheffield United, it was 10 men, and try and counter. Crystal Palace pressed us.
Crystal Palace pressed us. Horrible.
And I'll get in trouble. I'm probably wrong.
I'm just going by what...
City, but I worry. I worry when we play City. I think they will open us up like a can of worms.
Yeah, we'll have to rely on Van der Ven to do those sweeping tackles.
I'll ask you this, ladies. Against Luton, how many chances did Luton have?
A lot.
Right?
They had quite a lot.
How many chances did Liverpool have, even when they went down to 10 men?
Yeah, quite a number.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. How many? Arsenal. Let's be fair. For as good as we played against Arsenal, Arsenal should have been out of sight in the first half. But Arsenal should have been 3 up. So I'm not knocking it. You've got to ride your luck. It's great. But all I'm saying is I agree with Ellie. If we do that against Manchester City, I think all these people that are going, it's a different Spurs now. I think the reason we've been such a bogey team for City is we've played the complete opposite to what we're playing now. We've played with 10 men behind the ball, shut the spaces down, and that is what Man City hate. Right? Yeah. So last year, do you remember the whole... we played, Haaland was in Romero's pocket. Haaland wasn't in anyone's pocket. Man City didn't create anything for Erling Haaland.
Oh, no. Right? He was so frustrated.
He was really frustrated. And Gary Neville's analysis after the game was he picked up 5 situations where they could have played him in but didn't, kept passing. This year, look at look at the way we play. I just think that a top team like City will get in behind us the way Liverpool did. That's just my opinion. We'll see. If we beat City, everyone's going to be on my back, and it's fine. And I want to beat City, but I don't know. I just think we're. I don't know. I want to see a marked improvement against Chelsea. I'll be honest. I want to see us play some football. If I'm honest.
I think that I'm not disagreeing. Like, I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm completely right, or Joe. I do think we need to improve, and I can see it being one of those crazy games with City. Absolutely. But do I think we're going to get completely battered? No, I'm not going to say that I think we will. So I think that's everyone's got their own view, Savva. And if we don't lose, even if we draw, I think a draw for me, I would predict. I know we're a bit early on the same, but I would predict a draw more than anything because I think that's more feasible. Yeah.
I think if I really, sorry, Mia, I was going to say, if I really believed we were going to get beat and battered, I wouldn't watch it. So that's how I feel. If I really thought we'd get battered, I wouldn't watch it.
Yes,
I wouldn't.
Of course, you'd watch Spurs even if you think we were playing a better team that are going to be.
No, if I really truly believed that we would get battered, I wouldn't watch it. If I thought this is just going to be pointless, we're going to get smacked off the park, I wouldn't watch it. But I think we're giving them a game. I do expect us to lose. I've said it. I expect us to drop points and lose, but I don't think they'll batter us. I can't see it.
Our best players have to.
I feel like we're literally belittling the best team in the world.
Not at all.
Of course we are.
No,
of course
we're
we
not.
are.
You're
look at the chances we gave up to Liverpool. Look at the chances we gave up to Liverpool.
You could look at it. You're underestimating Spurs. It's not belittling City. It's underestimating Tottenham.
Because I'm watching us play and give up chance after chance after chance to teams like Fulham, to teams like Luton.
But
Fulham.
We will play better against bigger teams. We always do.
But that's an assumption that we will play better against bigger teams.
Yeah. Well,
Liverpool, we didn't play well. They're a bigger team. We didn't play well against Liverpool.
It's hard to judge because we always play better in the second half, and the game was ruined by VAR.
So you've got goalposts, and you're just going.
No, we do always kick in the second half. We definitely play better in the second half. We have done for the last 2 seasons.
Who statistically, I know people like their stats. Who's the best second half team this season in the country?
Man City.
Yeah.
No, Liverpool. There you go.
This is what. Listen, I think we go there. We try. This is the worry. I heard this last year from Arsenal fans. Right? There's so much similarity between Spurs and Arsenal right now from last year. All last year, the Arsenal fans were, when we go and play City, they'll see what it's like. But Arsenal played against City. They opened up against City the way we will, right? And Man City are the best team in the world in transition.
Yeah.
Their transitions will hurt you. Against Fulham, Harry Wilson went through on goal. No one near him. Yeah. Jimenez, what's his name? Yeah, Jimenez at the end went through on goal, nowhere near him. Willian went through on goal, nowhere near him. If this is Foden, yeah, if this is Rodri, if this is Haaland, this is Doku, this is over. This is.
But have you not seen some of the other teams have been giving up chances as well? Like, I think you think it's just Spurs centric that we give up chances because I feel like when you look at other teams, like they do still give up their chances. Even City will give up chances. So I feel like that you can't. I'm not saying we're going to go there back. Listen, I'm not being an overconfident fan like Arsenal saying that we're going to win. Exactly. I said a draw at best. I would be happy with that because I think that to me would be a bonus considering we're early on in the season and early on with Ange. So I'm not dismissing us. I'm dismissing Man City at all, being disrespectful to them. I just don't think we're going to get battered like you're saying. That's all.
Exactly.
No, I understand. I understand, but I see this year after year. Yeah, listen, it's fine. Yeah. It's fine. There's no problem. Look, I don't want us to get battered. I just see this year after year from fans that talk about Man City like this. And then when Man City come to the big game, Man City are the best team in the world. And there's for a reason. It's comments like this. When we say Spurs have got a chance to beat any team anywhere, I'm going to sit on the fence. I'll play the villain for the moment. Can I say the only good team we've beaten this season is Liverpool? We've only beaten one good team, and we're talking like we're this top team. This is what worries me. if we were 30 games into the season and we've beaten Brighton away and we've beaten Man City and we've beaten Liverpool away and we've beaten Arsenal, sure. So far, the only good team we've beaten in this league, sorry, tell me if I'm wrong, the only good team we've beaten is Liverpool because they went down to 9 men. I've not seen a game against anyone anywhere near as good as a Man City and gone, God, we're capable of beating anyone. I don't think we're capable of beating anyone.
We don't know that we wouldn't have beat them if they hadn't gone down to 9 men. We were crap. I'm not going to lie. We were crap before they went down to 10 men or whatever it was. But we still don't know for certain they would have beat us.
Sure, but we don't know we would have. So it stands.
No.
My point stands. The only team we've beaten of note is who this year?
Liverpool.
Right.
That's
so
not
now
our fault.
we can beat anyone anywhere. Where's that come from?
I do get it, and I listen. I think that Ange plays this thing where he doesn't want to play with fear. So whatever team come up to is either big team, small team, whoever. We shouldn't worry about who we're playing. Basically, I think that's sort of like Ange his philosophy, and I think that's where people are probably getting that from. But when you look at the Arsenal game, I thought we played really well against Arsenal, and everyone was saying we're going to get battered by them, and we just absolutely didn't. So that's why I feel like City are different, completely different, but Arsenal went and they beat Man City. Like, I just think that they're not unbeatable, but I don't think we're going to win.
Not on their ground. They didn't. This is not at City.
But we've beat City at their ground before.
But why did we beat City at their ground?
But even when we played against, when we played, after the Champions League, right, everyone said we're going to go to City and get battered because we beat them, right? When we played City, with that next game, they didn't batter us at all. Like, it's never been a case where City have absolutely, when was the last time City absolutely battered us?
I mean, they got 4 in about 25 minutes last season.
4-2 they beat
last
us.
season. 4-2, we were 2-0 up, so 2 goals. But that's not. I would say, yeah, they did. They come at us.
They battered us the whole game. We scored 2 goals in a freak 5 minutes. They battered us the entire game. We've got to be honest about this.
They're gonna have more possession than us because they have more possession than any other team. But what we got to do if we're gonna beat them, we've got to change our game a bit.
I agree.
I reckon we've got to change our midfield as well, because I think Sarr gives away the ball too much. I think we'll have to put either Højbjerg or Bentancur in, because they can control the ball. They can pass very well. You know, I think Sarr, it might be too much for him. You know, that's my own personal opinion. He hasn't got the experience in these big games yet. And when you're playing Man City, you're playing the cream of the crop. They will punish you. If you give them one sniff of goal, it's in the back of the net before you know it. So we have to adapt our game, I think, because we can't be playing too much open football and leave ourselves short at the back. And we've got to press them, because our press is really good, Savva. I don't know if you noticed, but our press is very good. When we've got it right, it's very good. And we got pressed by Arsenal in the first half. They've done what we normally do to teams. And if you shackle them off their game, like when we beat them at White Hart Lane, when Kane got his record-breaking goal, we shackled them off their game, right? But they still outplayed us, but we were just a little bit more clever in that game with our tactics. And that's what Postecoglou's got to take into account. Because Man City, they will punish you. They really will.
Look, it is what it is. We'll see. I think whether by the word battering, I think it could be a comfortable 2-3-0 win for them. Maybe a 3-1, 4-1. Look, I just think from what I've seen against Spurs, I've not been as impressed as everybody else. I know everyone wants to go Doolally and we're top. I think we're top because we've beaten a lot of the bad teams. I think we've beaten a lot of bad teams, and that's fine. You can only beat who's in front of you. But for me, I've not seen a game this season where I go, wow, yeah, we're at it. I watched against Arsenal. Good 45 minutes in the second half. First half, Arsenal should have been 3-0 up. Like, we just forget these things conveniently. Arsenal should have been 3-0 up. Liverpool, I thought we were really poor against Liverpool in that first half. I thought we were really, really poor against Liverpool. And their transitions, again, it's that word transition for me is everything. They kept spreading the ball to Salah, spreading the ball to Diaz. and they looked like they were going to score every time they went forward. That's what worries me. When I watch what Man City did to Man United in that second half, that is complete football. That is what our fans think handball is. It's just me. I hope I'm wrong. I just think at the Etihad, our fans are talking in everything we're talking about this year. We're talking like Arsenal fans this time last year.
No, I don't think.
I think we're not
in
I'm
our
not
favour, though,
saying-
Savva.
I'm not saying we're going to win, though. So I'm not going there and saying, like, well, Arsenal, we're being cocky, saying we're going to absolutely smack them up or beat them. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm actually I think I'm really level. I'm not talking like an Arsenal fan at all. I think I've been quite level-headed with me saying that I would like a draw. I think a draw is feasible. I don't think that's out of the, like, realms of possibilities.
Yeah, look, Cole, I listen, you know my feelings. I feel like everyone's getting way too carried away. I'm watching teams way down the bottom of the table have chance after chance after chance. And I'm just sitting there like Ellie, how she started this, saying, if that's Haaland, if that's Doku, if that's Foden, Grealish, Silva, I'm worried. We could go 2-0 down very, very quickly, because I see us getting caught out time and time again. And there's only so many times Van der Ven and Romero can stop that. Porro for me, look how bad defensively he was against Crystal Palace.
I know.
Right?
Worrying.
Who was that against? Who was he playing against?
And
now he's going to be doing that against Foden or Grealish or Doku. Like, I'm just like, oh no. What? Listen, it's just me. It's my nature. It's just my nature. Just not worry. We'll see.
Though, Savva, I must say though, our defence, even though we have let them come through, we've always managed to get a tackle in. We've always managed to save ourselves, right? So that's one plus thing that we would have conceded last season, because we leaked. Was it 63 goals last season we leaked?
Yeah.
So we have improved in that area. So we've got a better chance, but then you're playing against better players. So it's better not to make those mistakes, to let them get in. Just snip it in the bud. Make sure we're pressing really well and putting them off their game, so their transitional play is disrupted. Because we did that at White Hart Lane, we disrupted them. Yeah, like I said, they still had a lot of the ball, but it was like a hurried pass, and we stopped their fluidity. So that's what we've got to do again if we're going to stand any chance.
Yeah. I'm just quickly, Jimmy, I don't understand the point you're making. Are we now saying Fulham are a good team? Are we now saying that Fulham is an impressive win at home? Is that what we're going with? I'm confused by this. Levy Out has said, we haven't been as good as people think. We just seem better because of more possession. But apart from a few games, i.e. Burnley and Arsenal, we haven't been amazing. Our defence looks stronger overall, though. I would say that is an exact summary of our season so far. I agree, Levy Out. These people won't understand until we're not top of the league and we're losing. They won't understand, but we'll get there.
Romero's been nominated for Player of the Month, one of our key defenders, and Manager of the Month again.
Yeah,
boom, boom.
He's going to get a triple whammy, well, triple, isn't he? Yeah.
Do things like that excite you? Do you care about things like that?
No, not really.
I don't. It doesn't mean anything, but yeah, of course, I like it.
I'm happy for Ange. I'm happy for Ange.
Exactly that. And Romero, he's changed. He's been fantastic this season so far. As I said the other day, I think he's been absolutely brilliant. He's adapted his game. He's calmed himself down. He's took on the leadership. So yeah, I like it.
Okay, good. Trophies for Spurs. Look, everyone. All right, I'm going to ask for a prediction, even though we're nowhere near that game. I'm going to ask for a prediction versus Chelsea and a prediction versus City. We'll see who gets it closer, and we'll have a bet on it or something. First of all, Chelsea. Chelsea on Monday night at the Lane. Ellie, you go first.
I'm going to say we're going to win 2-1.
Okay.
3-1 to us.
Mia?
I'm with Kate, 3-1.
3-1. I'm with Ellie. I think it'll be 2-1. I think they're a good team that don't concede many goals. So I think again, 2-1. All right, Man City. I'll go around the other way. Mia? Man City away.
Ooh, I think it's going to be 2-2.
Kate?
I'm going to go... Oh, I'm going to go 4-2 City.
You've just told me they're not going to batter us.
That's not a battering. A battering's 4-0.
Hang on. Sorry, a 4-2 isn't a battering.
I don't think that's a battering. Against the best team in the world. No, I don't think that's a battering.
Hang on, Kate. You've just sat there for 20 minutes. And now we're conceding 4 goals.
Yeah, but we score 2. It's the same as if I'd have said City to win 2-0. Do you think that's a battering?
No, if you concede 2 goals in a game, sure. If you concede 4 goals in a game, you've been battered. If your defence gives up 4 goals,
with that.
What?
Oh, I'll change it. I'll say 2-0 because I don't think it'll be a battering. I don't think 4-2 is a battering unless I'm living on another planet. 5-1, yeah.
Change your prerogative.
Honestly,
I'm just confused. You sat there this whole time saying it will be close. You know, it's not what you think.
I didn't say that. I said I don't think it will be a battering. You were saying 4-0. That is a battering. I don't think 4-2 is a battering.
That's what I was trying to say earlier about the 4-2 when we got beat 4-2. When was the last time that it was 4-0 against City?
Sorry, did you guys watch the game against Man City at their ground last season when we lost?
Right, okay. You need to define what you see as a battering because because you think it depends on what happens in the game, or is it a scoreline? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, my context to a battering is 4-0 or 5-0. That's what Geordie says. Gaguma says that's me as well.
My team concedes 4 goals. I don't care if we've scored 2. If you concede 4 goals, that's awful. That's a battering.
So 4-3 is a battering to you?
Is 4-3 a battering?
Is 10-8 a battering?
It depends how the game goes. But if my team's conceded 4 goals, like last year, you watched the game at the Etihad, right?
Yeah.
Right? We grabbed a couple of goals sneakily at the end of the first half. They were all over us the first half. They were all over us the second half. That was a battering. Are we? What are we doing here?
You're now saying it's not the scoreline; it's actually the game. So what Kate's saying is technically true because you're not saying it's the scoreline necessarily.
If we lose 4-2, that's a battering. Surely.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm sticking with 4-2. I don't consider that a battering against the best team in the world or any team. I think a battering's 4-0, 5-0, 4-2. It's like if it's 4-4, is it a mutual battering? Have we battered each other because we let 4 goals? I don't understand.
You know what I love about this?
I'm going to batter you all if you don't shut up.
I love about this. This is the ultimate. I don't want to be proved wrong. So that if Spurs lose 4-2, we go, yeah, but that's not a battering. If Spurs lose 4-2,
I think it
depends on how we play.
Like everyone, you're saying it's different things because at first you said it's about what happens in the game, and then you're saying it's the scoreline. So what one is it?
Yeah.
Is an 8-2, is an 8-10, is that a battering? If we score 8 and they score 10, is that a battering?
That's just silly talk.
If it's 4-2, but they play us off the park and get 80% possession and we nick 2 lucky goals, I'll concede that's a battering. But if it's 4-2, it's really close, 60-40 possession, it's edgy, but their quality shines through and Haaland nicks a couple. I don't consider that to be a battering, Savva, and that's my opinion. And I thought football was about opinion.
You just sat there giving it the big one for 20 minutes about me thinking.
You didn't listen to what I said.
About me thinking Man City are better than us and why can't we do this? Why can't we do that? And then it's I think they're going to score 4 past that. Like what?
No, I sat there for 20 minutes saying to you it won't be a battering because you said I expect them to be 4-0. I don't think it'll be 4-0. I think we will score.
Did Arsenal get battered last night?
I didn't watch the game, so I can't say.
They lost 3-1.
They scored that goal at the end, so didn't they? So it's 3-0.
If I looked at a 3-1 scoreline, I wouldn't say Arsenal got battered because they actually only lost by 2 goals. But if I watched the game and they were absolutely crap, I would say they got battered.
I'm thinking Arsenal get battered everywhere they go, regardless.
So AJ makes a really good point, Savva. It's 4-3 a battering because they scored 4 past us still.
Look, I think people are being really pedantic now. I think people are being really pedantic.
I love poking the bear of Savva, man. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's just really, really pedantic now. Okay, yeah. Do you know what? I give up with Spurs. But yeah, we're great. 4-2 isn't a battering. Yeah, it's a good scoreline at Man City to lose 4-2.
It's not a good score. It's never a good score if you lose.
Can I put my score in?
Yeah, yes, please do, Ellie. Bring a sense of common sense to a conversation.
I think we're going to lose 3-0.
Is that a battering?
Yeah.
So one more goal the other way equals battering.
I don't think we're going to score. I think we're going to lose 3-0 because they're better than us. They are.
The thing is, I did say that I didn't think. I said a draw, so I've predicted a draw. So I've stuck to what I said.
You have,
gone back. I've not gone back on what I've said.
Above you lately, Jesus. Yeah, we won't get battered. We're going to lose 4-2. Well,
but that's what she doesn't consider a battering. So that's her subjective opinion.
I can't believe it. I think Savva could argue in an empty room. I just gave a score prediction. I didn't sit there and say we were better than City. I said I expected us to lose. I didn't expect it to be a battering because you said 4-0. I don't think 4-2 is a battering. Sorry.
Yeah, but that's just ridiculous. It's just so silly. Did we batter Burnley?
What, 5-2?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we played them off the park.
So why is the one goal the other way the difference between a battering
I just said, if you listen to what I said if it's 4-2 and they play us off the park, I will tell you that is a battering. I'm expecting it to be 4-2, but it to be a close.
I give up. All right, everyone. Let's hope we lose 4-2. That's a good scoreline. I've never known. And if Arsenal lost the game at the weekend 4-2, all our fans would be in their chat going, they got battered, they got busted.
Well, the chat's actually very much agreeing with me. So I think.
Yeah, but our chat think we're winning a bloody league title, Kate. Like,
if they want to think that, let them think it.
Yes, but that doesn't make it. Oh my good God! Right, I'm going to end the show. We've gone into gym territory of delusion here. Kate has turned into the queen of the flip flops in the last week. Right, it is what it is. I'll stand by it. Thank you all for coming on. Let's hope that we don't get battered by anybody. Yeah. Everybody, thank you very much. Kate, sorry, Ellie, you went with 3-0, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 4-1.
I'll
go with 4-1. I think they're going to play us off the park, and I think we're going to really, really struggle. But, hey, that's just me. Big up. Good luck to Ange. Good luck to Romero in winning their awards. And as always, we will see you later. Take care, everyone. Be back tonight at 8 p.m. for the first episode of Spurs Unleashed with Will, Stell and Haas, myself and Perchy. So join us for that. See you later. And as always, no, hang on. Gogamar, so sorry. Chucked in a super sticker. Thank you so much for that, Gogamar. Long time no see. Hope you are well. She put in another super sticker. So thank you very much for that. And Adrian Chia has said we shouldn't put pressure on Ange to deliver. Instead, we should put pressure on the board to show the fans want to win. I agree completely. Yeah. So let's stop talking about league titles. I agree. And Tigaro, yeah, there's so many reasons why that would never happen. One, Richarlison is shit and Napoli wouldn't want him. Two, Daniel Levy's not paying 80 million for anyone. Three, that's not what Spurs do. Big up to everyone. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Ellie. Please go and subscribe. And Mia, please go and subscribe to Just a Girl Who Loves Spurs and to Spurs Between the Lines. Love a heated debate. Take care, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.